I had to pause the AFF script just because this club won't stop disappointing me. Last time I had to be subjected to writing another script where I eventually get so pissed off I go insane. Arsenal get my hopes up throughout the first half of 2024 with a ridiculous run, seeing them go 11 unbeaten with most of the results being dominant victories. But because of the club's wonky form in the first half of the season, a single loss to Aston Villa at home and Man City going scorched earth, again, meant Arsenal would come up short, again. By the way, it's time to do that segment of the video right before we get into the thick of things, where I basically showcase my favorite photos of what you guys are eating while watching my videos. So, we'll start off with this image of someone having some mangoes enjoying my vid. Here's the best burger I think I've seen in honestly quite some time. I believe that was located in Marrakesh, I could be wrong though. And finally, I just love this image. If you'd like to have a chance to feature on the channel, all you gotta do is just tag me on Twitter or Instagram. Seeing how we missed out twice on the league now, it was essential that we get things right in the summer window. So out came a load of players who had been around since the early beginnings of Mikel Arteta. Mohamed El-Neni on a free, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson went out on loan. Aaron Ramsdale left to newly promoted Southampton for 21.4 million. Thierry Nketiah just wasn't cut out to be Arsenal's top dog, and so he was shipped off to Palace for 29.7 million. And finally, we said goodbye to one half of the Haaland boys for 31.8 million. Then came the new shiny signings. David Raya's deal was made permanent for 31.9 million. We then bought a new left back in Ricardo Calafiori for 45 million. Mikel Merino took a few weeks to happen, and that costed us another 32 million. But hey, we let so many attacking options leave, and it's 4 days until the window ends. Are we gonna do something about that perhaps? Maybe a new striker since we so badly need one? Oh. Arsenal started swimmingly with the win versus Wolves as we saw goals from Kai Havertz and the Starboy. Oh, and also, there was this that happened. The Gunners then had to face their demons and play Aston Villa away. It was an entertaining back-to-back affair, but in the end, it would be substitute Leandro Trossard scoring with just his first touch of the game. And with that bit of redemption, the football gods gifted Arsenal with 3 injuries in training. Tomiyasu, Jesus, and Mikel Merino, who we had just signed 3 days before. However, that did not stop the Gooner fleet, as Kai Havertz lobbed one beautifully over the keeper to give Arsenal the advantage against Brighton. But then come the second half, Declan Rice does some dumb shit to get himself a red card, and then Arsenal allow a single pass to go through their whole shape. The first shot is saved, but unfortunately the rebound is slapped in. Thomas Partey, let your apologies be as loud as your disrespect. To be in September, the Arsenal traveled to Tottenham to do some parenting, and then followed that up with an extremely dull performance versus Atalanta, which had a lot to do with the fact that Martin Odegaard was out with an ankle injury he suffered during the international break. And then came City at the Etihad. Haaland scores early, 1-0 City. Rodri's crockpot of an ACL finally says it's time, Arsenal immediately equalize through a Calafiori ripper, and then take the lead before the half on, you guessed it, a corner. Leandro Trossard then sees a controversial red in the second half. Arteta decides to play aggressively defensive again, as if he didn't learn his lesson last time. This invites pressure from City. They eventually find the equalizer. The game ends 2-2. Stay humble, eh? Ben White was playing with an injury, yada yada yada. Fuck this game. Nonetheless, Arsenal went on to collect 6 straight victories throughout the Premier League, EFL Cup, and Champions League. But then just 26 minutes into a match versus Bournemouth, William Saliba receives a red card, which, I see both sides on this one, but I don't really think it was that clear of a goal-scoring opportunity. Anyways, this fucks up the entire game plan. Odegaard still being out doesn't help at all, and we lose 2-0. And oh goody, we have Liverpool next, and our best defender is suspended. Yippee! But what we mustn't forget is that with our star boy, anything is possible. Oh, Liverpool want to play the set-piece game? You fools. We're doing this all without Saliba and Odegaard, by the way. This is so our year. Oh. 3 days later, Arsenal put the North End on the Panini press. Yeah, that wasn't very good. But again, the lack of Odegaard's creativity hurts the team against Newcastle, as the team can only conjure up a single shot on target in 90 minutes. The Gunners then followed that abysmal performance with another against Milan. And this one was really annoying because all Arsenal did was play the long ball game, hoping to win the second balls against a team that was significantly taller than them. Thankfully, Odegaard was back just in time for a trip to Stamford Bridge, and good fucking lord did we need him. It took just an hour to make his mark on the game as Martinelli tucked in one of the Norwegians' assists. However, just 9 minutes later, no one bothers to even follow Pedro Neto, and all of Odegaard's good work has been undone. done. But then in the 86th minute, Arsenal with a good chance here. The first shot is saved, but it falls right to Trossard. 5th minute is stoppage time now. Arsenal know they need this winner to stay firm in the title race. And here's Leandro Trossard. I already kind of mentioned the theory of whenever I go to Asia, Arsenal just kind of start winning, but I had been in Asia for about 3 weeks at that point, and all I had seen was disappointment and Ben White getting injured again. Fortunately, the Maxwell in Asia effect finally arrived, and Arsenal got some very convincing victories, including a 3-0 vs Forest, who were sitting in the top 5, and a 5-1 destruction of Sporting. We also saw Ethan Nwaneri get his first Premier League goal at just 17 years old. Calafiori was back in the starting lineup too, for 3 games. And with Gabriel also out, that meant Jakub Kivior would start versus Fulham, and it took just 10 minutes for someone to run in behind him and score. Thankfully for the Arsenal, the glorious corner came to the rescue again, with the other starting center back being on the end of it. However, throughout this game, the team's attack was so hard to watch. No free-flowing football, but it's not like this has been anything new up to this point. It's just that this one really exposed the issues, as Arsenal would fail to miserably find any equalizer. They did bounce back against Monaco, but that scoreline does not show the whole picture because, again, the attack was miserable to watch. And it only got worse just a few days later when Arsenal couldn't even score a goal versus Everton. Thankfully, after that god-awful performance, we were single-handedly rejuvenated by Jesus in the EFL Cup quarters. Because then in the next game, against Palace, Arsenal smashed through the glass house, scoring 5 goals. It was a match of actual dynamic football. Chaos. Players had freedom. Finally, it seemed like Arteta was getting it. No.
You've got mail.
No. Good fucking job, Arsenal. This guy was in desperate need of someone who was actually reliable as a backup, and you gave him Raheem Sterling. And so, what now? Well, after a moment of promise, we get fed yet another unconvincing win. That's followed up by a 3-1 win versus Brentford, but the result could have been much different had it not been for David Raya's ridiculous save. Then there was Brighton away, and I know a lot of people are pissed off about that one dumbass penalty, and I am too. But it's not like this came out of nowhere. Arsenal took the lead, had control for a bit, then Brighton turned the game into a transitional one. The Gunners never made any attempt to contain it, and they got punished. Then there was Newcastle in the EFL Cup semis, and that was just abysmal. The finishing was awful, the chance creating was especially bad, and Newcastle were making more of their chances with 30% of the possession. And finally, there was the most recent FA Cup game versus Man United. This performance pretty much encapsulated everything that I had been worried about with this team from the very beginning of the season. The attack. Oh my god, it was less effective than essential oils against the polio virus. And the times we did manage to create anything, Kai Havertz would just fuck every single one of them. By the way, we played this game with a man advantage for 70 fucking minutes. 70! And even with the ref helping us pretty much the entire fucking match, still, we couldn't score a goal. We couldn't score another goal. We couldn't beat them. We couldn't beat Manchester fucking United. And David Raya, man, I had finally changed my opinion about you because you've been very good this season. And then you just whip out the ping of a North American player on a Garena server.
We kicked a lot of the balls over the bar, and it's tricky that this ball flies a lot, and we discussed that as well.
So here we are now. Out of every domestic cup competition, again, the Premier League title is miles away, and we ignored every single sign. And now our best player, the one player that actually made me enjoy watching this team throughout the last 6 months, is in the hospital for God knows how long now. Kill me now! By the way, speaking of injuries, thank God we had some depth for that defense, because we've really needed it. Halfway through the season, we have played 9 different backlines. 9! I will say though, there is a silver lining in this. Lewis Skelly, I've really enjoyed what I've seen from him so far. But going back to that Saka injury, it has exposed us beyond belief. I knew we were relying on him throughout a good bit of this season, but dear fucking God. What I've kind of put together, even though it was always in the back of my mind, everyone's mind honestly, is the fact that none of our attackers are good enough. So of course we're always having to go to Saka. Because who the fuck fuck else are we gonna have score for us or create for us? Besides, I guess, Odegaard. But he's not really in the front three. So yeah, of course, that's why he's being targeted and triple teamed so often. Because teams know. And we've been so goddamn in denial about it. And the signings, they really haven't been great so far. Calafiori is solid, but he's made of dry pasta. Marino just ain't there yet. And to the people who were like, oh, Maxwell, you wanted a backup, and Arteta got a backup. Fuck you. Can someone tell me why Declan Rice is often playing higher than Kai Havertz? Declan Rice, our defensive midfielder. Also, why is Kai Havertz just roaming around the pitch like a lost child half the time, and the other half he's in golden spots only to fuck up from 1 centimeter out? Someone explain to me what the fuck is going on. By far the biggest culprit of the season turning to shit. I mean, it's Mikel Arteta. We have to talk about Mikel Arteta. Over the last few seasons, he keeps switching it up and overthinking. And I'm not really surprised. He is a Pep disciple. Things weren't going that smoothly when Arteta went more cautious and conservative late in 2023. So he switched it up, let his team play more freely, and Arsenal went on a ridiculous run and just missed out on the title because of 1 loss. And then we're back to the same shit. Why? I hate the way we play now. It's like we're being controlled by a dictator. There's no freedom in this world. Anytime this team starts to attack, I start feeling like my world is turning black and white. This shit sucks ass. Bukayo Saka was like the only one making me feel like Remy from that one scene from Ratatouille. But now he's dead. Okay, he's not actually dead, but it feels that way because the team plays as if they're mourning the one guy who could actually fucking do something. And Martin Odegaard, pray for the guy. Because the brother will dazzle around the pitch, deliver these beautiful passes into the front three. And then the witches in the front will turn them into rotten apples. It's even more infuriating when I see the opposition players creating better chances than us with the 2% possession that we give them. And why are we so anti-transitional all of a sudden? Where did this come from? There were so many times, especially in that United game, where we were on the break, and then all of a sudden, as a player is just making his run, the momentum is on his side, he just stops and passes it back. Why? Why the fuck do we even bother crossing the ball, by the way? We have a worse conversion rate than Dream at an under-18s bar. We cross into the box as if we have Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it's just Martinelli. And he plays like me on Smash. You learn one move, and you rely on that move for the rest of the time. It doesn't matter. It could be a good result, it could be a bad result. You don't know any other moves, so you just do that same one over and over and over again. It's the same shit. Receive ball, take on defender, fail miserably to actually beat defender. And now you're met with 2 different pathways. Either grow up or become wrong graphic. Either back pass or stutter step 40 times to no success and then hit a low cross directly at someone's shins. I am sick of this shit. I understand that he needs support and he hasn't been the same since Xhaka, but if he hasn't found another way to make a difference, I'm sorry, but being in a title race is cutthroat. I'd honestly rather be murdered and then have someone turn my tragedy into a true crime mukbang than watch this Simpsons-ass football one more time. And one more thing. Send the motherfucker to jail already. You know what I hate most about this, though? Is the nostalgia. The nostalgia is starting to poison people's minds because recently I've been seeing things from Emery Ball or even Wenger Ball. People being like, oh, I miss Wenger Ball. You did not enjoy that shit when it was happening. Then again, though, it could have just been a kid who didn't watch the Wenger days. The ones that have been really pissing me off, though, are the 2022-23 ones. Yeah, I understand that shit was fun to watch, but I guess we just forgot it was our downfall the moment we were found out, because we had no other way to play. It was a blessing that we evolved, and for a while, that worked too. And then Arteta just decided to take the mask off and reveal he was Pol fucking Pot. Super Meek, where did you take Sin Sissomu? And holy shit, the corners. The fucking corners. Oh, Arsenal has scored 90 corners in the last 34 hours. Why was I that animated? I need social media to shut the fuck up about that. Honestly, I need social media to shut the fuck up in general, but specifically that. Because it's like I'm hearing about Spain's possession in 2022 all over again. Corners, corners, corners. It's like now we just base our playstyle on getting as many as possible, and now it's become our only avenue of attack. Finally, please, I'm begging. Please, it's been years. Just get an actual striker. Please! It won't fix all our problems, but watching Kai Havertz miss from 2 nanometers out makes me want to plot something against my insurance company. But you know what's really funny? Despite having the accuracy of Ellis Platten, Kai is still our top scorer in the Premier League with 7 goals. That's how bad our attack has been. Oh, Man City won't be ready for what's gonna go down at the Emirates. Oh, they will be, because we can't even beat fucking Manchester United. I guess to end this, there's going to be people who are going to ask me, because I haven't really particularly put a concrete statement about Mikel Arteta, which seems to be a thing you have to do if you're talking about Arsenal. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly Arteta in, I'll tell you that. I do think we should consider at least his job being in danger. But at the same time, I mean, who the fuck are we going to replace him with? I feel like, especially nowadays, the coaching market isn't exactly very attractive. Especially with more of the bigger teams realizing that they need to trust the process, that they need to take time. It takes time to gel a team together. I just don't know who we could go for right now. So yeah, in terms of what I think about Arteta in and Arteta out, I just don't know, man. I really don't. It sucks we're in this position. I hope it gets better. I really do. I hope Arteta goes back to what was actually successful. That 1 year ago now. But yeah, I don't know. All I can hope for is maybe the video jinx will happen. Ooh. That only happens when it's not my team. If it is my team, it's always in the negative. You know, I've never seen myself positively jinx my team. So, don't get your hopes up. But what do you guys think? Arteta in? Arteta out? For the fans that are 100% going to put Arteta in because they hate Arsenal, fuck you. But anyways, massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balas, Chupas, Brazilian Fury, Respect the Jeff, Othman JN, Habakkuk, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimang, Jango, Sexy Asian Diddler, Anazir Makalongkom, Alex Rod, Ulta, Miguel Munoz, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Slider Kit, Sniffer, Sakaoga Fan, the Cypriot 35, Not Windows 95 Man, Kentra Agacha, Big Boris the Baby Eater II, Turbo, Unkwell, St. Terrence, Sylvia Citrus, Ryan Jans, Wise Orange, Rashford Enthusiast, Cocosaurus Rex, LeJames Bronze, Samu, Just MRC, Cheesebait, Cooper Rory, The Somali Pirate, Claremore Roomba, Windar Gel, M4 Does Stuff, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Portugueser, TPSK25, Polar Protos, Van Fan, Lucian Von Croix, Ethan Bennett Lizkovica, Gazegers Reshakivics, Manotengo Fey, Adrian, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Mud Tanai, Nava, Sketchy Card, KM89, Apollo, Kevin Mojica, Chris Visconti, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Krebs, Mohammed Altanib, Nish, Patrick Barley, Rashford God 5, Raspberry Ale, and Unbroken Persona. If you'd like to become a member on the channel, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you like, follow my Twitch. I'll be streaming a little bit more now that I am moving, at least. It's nowhere near done. We'll get there. But at least now I have my PC back, so that's good. But until then, I'll see you guys.